What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down Michael Thomas and his route running ability. We're going to be talking about 4 routes that I think are great examples for you guys to learn from and just to help you create some more separation off the line, learn how to sell your routes with your eyes and with your body, and just become an overall better receiver. And guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get more familiar with wide receiver terms, you want to understand what everything means that I talk about, check out that link in the description that says Wide Receiver Dictionary. You get access to over 30 terms that I use, that wide receiver coaches teach, that you're going to need to know throughout your career. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Let's get started. So the first thing here is we're going to talk about this little jab to the inside here, working this fade route. Okay, so let's watch at full speed. We're going to talk about the mechanics of the jab, what gets that DB to lean, and then how to react to a ball that they put on his back shoulder. Obviously, because there's probably a safety coming over the top here besides this corner chasing him because he's got this corner beat. So Breeze, whoever's throwing this thing in his back shoulder to make sure he reacts to it. So when he comes off the line here, the most important thing is we're closing the gap with this DB, right? I want to have my eyes on good pad level going straight forward. I'm running straight at him. Everything about this is I'm attacking him, so get him in a back pedal and to get him over anxious, right? So he closes the gap with him. Now when he makes this jab to the inside, I think the most important thing here is the DB is not going to be looking at your eyes. Well, at least he shouldn't be, right? Maybe he is in this situation, and he's not going to be looking at your feet. So we can be as sudden as I can with my feet. I don't got to reach long. That's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think I got to reach way out here anytime I make a cut and I drag this back foot and I lean my chest back. That's not the case. You got to be as violent as you can with your upper half. You see how his hips and his upper body is turning, right? And that's what's going to create some separation because that sells like this, right? He's got a dangerous slant route, right? Everybody knows that Michael Thomas can run a slant, no doubt, slant out, whatever it is. So moves like this are a great way to set that up. Maybe he's beat him on a slant a couple times here. You get your eyes, your shoulders committed to the inside, but at the same time, you keep your toes straight forward, right? This is like a common thing that you see out of Jerry Jeudy, right? He's super violent with his upper half, but he keeps that toe forward, and you see how the weight's on the inside arch of his foot right here, right? Now, I know that could seem like kind of a sketchy knee angle, right? It looks like he's maybe pushing this thing a little bit too far to the inside, right? And I'm not asking you for your knee to be that low. I'm just saying you can tell where the weight is on his foot. You can tell by this shin angle that the weight is on the inside part of his foot. And why is it like that? Because that's what's going to push him out. Because when you open up your hips like this, you open up your shoulders, open up your hips. It's very tempting to want to swing your toe open to the inside and open up this hip as well. Now, what that's going to do is that's not going to make you explode because you see when he comes out here, he's pushing. You see how much he's pushing off of this leg because that's where he gets his explosion. That inside arch, when you go here and you give your body to the inside and you fully turn, your explosion comes from that inside arch. So you could actually push off the inside to create some separation because we got to be as explosive as possible right here, especially when you're a taller guy like this, so I could continue to get space. That gives me a lot of energy into my route and explosion so I can pump my arms and continue to get space over the top. Now you see that's exactly what he does. Looks back. Now we're going to be throwing this ball back shoulder from the quarterback perspective. He'd be able to put the brakes on, and when we go up for a back shoulder, any kind of catch in traffic here, I want to make sure that I go up with a strong grip. This is how you improve your catch in traffic. I want to go up with a strong grip, and as soon as I catch that ball, I want to put it away. You see how he's here? Because if I catch this thing and I just hold this thing out in front of me for forever, that DB will clearly rip your hands and pull this thing down, right? So we got to make sure that I'm here. Right when I hit my hands, right when I secure it, I put this thing away and I secure this catch. I make sure I protect the ball and pull it away. I catch it here and I pull it away from this defender, okay? And how you could get more comfortable with that, you could just jog over the middle and you have somebody standing behind you with like a pool noodle or with like one of those bags, one of those hitting bags. And as a quarterback's throwing you a ball, they just hit you with the bag. And you got to work on having late hands, attacking this thing, and then being right to the tuck with the ball. Of getting your catch in traffic a little bit better. Let's watch this thing full speed. So he gives this jab inside, violent head and shoulders, sudden feet, accelerate up, then be late with my hands, put this ball away. So now we're going to be looking at this kind of fake throw-by technique here and how it's able to get him some separation, okay? So now, when he comes off here to the inside, right, he gives this just a little quick move to hold this DB, right? Now, when I got to run a dig, something quick like this is essential because here's the deal. We got to get up into this route, right? I got to give him something quick to the outside, get a little bit of weight here, and then I got to make sure I beat him to the inside. Now, again, you see what happens here. This DB get hands, but let's not panic, right? Let's not panic. When I want to take an inside release, all I got to do is beat this inside arm, right? So I just got to get his right arm off of me, and if he has this left hand on me, that's fine, but I got to make sure I just beat this right arm, so I take this inside release, and now I can work my move at the top of the route, right? So I'm here. Now I swap by. When I snap down, you see how when he snaps down here, he's snapping down with this right leg, and you see how he's not leaning back when he snaps down, right? He's staying going forward. He's going forward and snaps. He uses the back of his arms to kind of push, right? And I wouldn't call this a push off necessarily. He's just swatting and getting hands off of him at the top of the route. So he pushes here. So it's like almost you're pushing a wall, right? As you're snapping down, you're like your hand's going on a wall and you're just stopping yourself because he's selling like he's just going to throw him by and run this out route. He's faking this throw by technique, but kind of off of like this stair step square cut. So he snaps here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he gives this jab to the outside with head and shoulder movement to force this DB to turn around, because when we work this throw by technique and we're here and we're in this blind spot and we get my feet working, so you snap and you throw 1, 2, 3, 4, and you give violent head and shoulder movement to the outside here. You give that stick to make this DB think, okay, he's coming out here. He feels me. He feels how I'm going. And then I accelerate the opposite way. DB doesn't know which side we're at, and then I make a play on this ball. That's a great job here by Michael Thomas. Let's watch it again one more time. So get him something to the outside, get him leaning. I only got to beat this inside shoulder. I work up, I get to the depth of the route, I snap down on my outside leg as I'm throwing him by. And you could do it you could snap down on the inside leg as well. You could snap on the inside, then you go right, left, right, and you make it in 4 steps, okay? So it's one of those things where it's not always going to be perfect, it's not always going to be structured, but we got to make sure that I'm pushing vertical. When I do decide to snap, I'm not leaning back, okay? Let's watch this thing again. So quick feet, burst up to the inside, swat, 1, 2, 3, 4, sudden jab to where he needs to go, and then burst up to the inside. So now we're going to be looking at this out route here. So this is just a great way to run it out. And you could use this same kind of a technique when you push this out up to a longer depth, where you're just selling this inside move, coming to the inside with your eyes, with your shoulders, then breaking out. Let's watch it here. So he gives him just a move to the outside, breaks down, 1, 2. And we accelerate out of this break. I think that's the most important thing here. So if this DB, you can tell by this DB's first step that he probably has, it's more so, it's probably like a man coverage scenario where we have help over the middle, right? That he definitely has help over the middle, because if he doesn't have help over the middle, he's probably going to be stepping with his opposite foot here and be trying to force Thomas to the outside. He's not going to give up his inside this easy. So he definitely has help over the middle, right? He's not going to just be, oh yeah, man coverage, let him go run over the middle. But I'm not saying it's still not man, because why? His eyes. But you could see his eyes could be a little bit more disciplined watching these hips rather than looking at his eyes, because here's the deal. This is what gets him. He comes out here and you see how he's looking at those eyes. Bam, bam, out of this thing. Because where's Thomas's eyes on this route? He's committing his shoulders. He's committing his hips to the inside. He's got his eyes to the inside. So everything about this is telling that DB, hey, I'm running a slant maybe. I'm running this drag over the middle. I'm going to go run a dig. And he's thinking, oh, okay, I got him right now. He turned his eyes to the inside. That's where he's always going to be going. Thomas does a great job of recognizing that. Gives him a little move to the outside. Let's get my eyes to the inside. That's where that DB's watching. He's going to come try and run, try to make a play, come try to force me to the inside. And I break down 2 steps, selling this thing inside, left, right. And now you see when he gets up into this break, he does not slow down. He's able to run full speed, and I know it's only 5 yards, but that's why it's a lot easier, right? And 10 yards, when you work this kind of technique, it's not going to be as easy, because you're going to be running full speed and you have to break it 10 yards. So not slowing down at the top of the route is key here. So he gets up into it, 1, 2. And as you can see, he works that hand technique. Where does he swat him by? Swats the back of his shoulder. That's a point of control, right? And it's not even a push. It's just a swat. You see how he's here. He's just kind of lightly tapping him. His momentum's already going that way, so it's just a light tap. Now, here's the deal. That's how we can kind of almost get away with that, receivers, right? I don't want to be here, and I don't want to necessarily push and extend my arm and throw him down that way. It's just a light little tap, and you're working that hand technique. His momentum's already going this way, so trust me, he's going to end up flying out that way. It's like that, if you guys watch that Jordan documentary, right, where he hit that game, like probably his last shot ever as a Bull, where he worked that crossover, and it was just like a light tap on his hip, right? It wasn't a full push. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the exact scenario here. It's just a light tap. He's just kind of getting himself together so he can force him that way, and his momentum's already going this way, so I just got to make sure I stop on a dime and work my hands at the top. And now when I'm here in this scenario, I got to really dry my arms, and I got to really run and continue to accelerate out of this break, because I want to continue to gain space from this DB. That's a great job here by Michael Thomas, being physical at the top of the route, but not being too physical to the point where he draws a flag, and being able to create some separation by selling this route to the inside with his eyes. Let's watch it full speed again one more time. After this, we're going to take a look at one more route. So eyes to the inside, 1, 2. swat him by, or not even necessarily swat him by, just a light tap. His momentum's going that way. Then let's go make a play. Let's go score. So we're going to talk about this slant release here. So let's watch at full speed. So he comes off, a little jab to the outside, and accelerates. I think that's the main thing, especially when we're going over the middle, fellas, is that we got to make sure that we get up into this route. So when he's here, you see he's coming off. DB, let's see where he's at, right? He's a little bit in this catch technique. He's about maybe what? I would say like 2 yards off, a yard off. So what do we want to do? We want to close the gap with this guy. We want to try to get him on his heels, right? You could tell by just his base that he doesn't want any part of this press, right? He's very tall, very high up in his base, so he's going to want to backpedal and he's going to want to turn and run. So let's attack him. Let's play to that. Let's attack him. Let's get him on those heels. As you can see here, get him on those heels. Then he gives a jab to the outside, and you see how sudden his upper half is. Bam. He just shows you got to get up into this route, though. So sudden upper half, and then when I get him to lean, that's where I create the separation. I got to make sure when I make this jab, like the very first clip we talked about, weight's on the inside arch of your brake leg, and you could actually push. You snap that head around. I'm driving my arms, and I'm running out of this thing because you see how this DB's leaning to the outside, opens up that gate a little bit because of how sudden my upper half is, and I pump those arms and run out of the brake, and then you see over the middle, what does he do? He catches, right? As soon as we catch it, what do I got to do? I got to put it away. I got to secure it. With 2 hands, I got to secure it, make sure I wear this contact, keep a good pad level, and then break up this score. That's a great job by Michael Thomas working his catch over the middle. Let's watch it again one more time. So fast hands, jab. Violent upper half, catch this ball, put that thing away, and let's go make a play, and let's go score. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate you stuck with me through this whole video and watching all these routes. I hope you guys got better. I hope it gave you some value. And please leave in the comments any questions you guys have. I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys next time.